Hello, chess geeks. This is Ravi here, and today I'm going to show you a very special kind of a game today, which is a Sicilian game, and it is a Velimoric Attack. Now, many of you may not be like knowing what is Velimoric Attack, but it is the variation which is given by one of the player names who was named Velimoric, and you can find a lot of games in the database in the chess games. So this is why am I showing you this game? The reason being because if you know this opening, I can assure you that players within 200, below 2200 level would surely fail prey to this attack if they do not know how to encounter this. So let's go ahead and watch this game. E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, CD, knight B, knight F6, knight C3, D6, bishop C4. So it's in variation E6, bishop to E3, bishop to E7, and queen to E2. So this is the starting position of the Velimoric attack. Now, in the majority of the games, you might find that pawn to F3 would be the most common move in this position. Now, why the pawn comes to F3? Because this knight will not be allowed to drop to G4 and attack the bishop on E3. Queen to E2 in this case keeps an eye on the G4 square, and the knight cannot come and attack this bishop on E3. Okay. Now, A6, a very common move in Sicilian, and yes, white does a queenside castle. Now, this queenside castle is when white does the queenside castle, it means it will throw his pawns on the king side and attack the black king. Queen c7, it attacks the uh, a discovered attack might come on the bishop, so bishop drops back to b3. Okay, and castle on the king side. So this is the, you can say, the most common position of the Velimoric attack. And from here, the main move can come as rook d2 g1 or rook h2 g1, or like you can say h3 can also come. And this g4 move is the starting position of the attack. Now g4 will be coming to g5 and attack the knight, and all the pawns on the king side will start rolling and will try to attack the black king. So you may have heard a saying in chess: attack on the flank is always being done by a counter attack on the center. So black takes the knight on d4, and bishop takes knight. Very simple move, and then e5. Now this e5 move serves two purposes. It attacks the bishop on d4, and it also attacks this pawn on g4. So this knight and this bishop, it attacks the pawn on g4. And you will see how the attack goes. Now bishop drops back to e3. And I can tell you, if you are playing black, before you take this pawn, you should know how to play with black if you are taking this pawn, because taking this pawn will open up the g file for white, and the attack from white will come very much faster. So if you see, there's a minority attack from the black side in Sicilian with a6 and b5. So it is already the middle game, and black hasn't played this b5 move at all. So there is no attack on the queen side yet. And if you are taking this pawn, you should know how to play this opening. Otherwise, I will say don't take this pawn. So I am showing you this game because I'm just going to show you how a 2100 player fails to prevent the attack from white, and how he falls prey to this Velimoric attack. Now black can take either with the knight or with the bishop, and he takes with the knight. So taking with this knight here, when black takes this pawn on g4, he gives up the d5 square. If you see this d5, and in Sicilian or in any other like variation, the knight on d5 is the best piece for the knight on the board for white. So knight comes to d5. So knight comes to d5, queen drops back to d8, which is the most common move. And now, black might have thought that he would be taking this dark square bishop, but he is unable to do so. The bishop comes to b6, and it attacks the queen once again. So it gains tempo on the queen. The queen drops to d7. If the queen goes to e8, then knight c7 can fork the rook and the queen again. So queen has the square of d7. And when queen comes to d7, I give my rook to g1, rook d to g1. I want to attack this knight. I want to take control of the g file. Here, in case of rook d g1, you can also play f4, which is a different kind of a like attack can happen. But I just wanted to move the rook to g1 because I understood that my opponent will not be able to like hinder this attack. Will not be able to prevent this attack because he doesn't know the opening too well. Okay, so I give the rook to d1 and missed. And here my opponent wants to neutralize this bishop, and he gives the move bishop to d8, which is a big blunder. Now, after giving the bishop to d8, he thinks that he may like neutralize the bishop, but he forgets that this knight is being attacked twice. So I take this bishop, and if you take right now with the rook on f8, the knight can come to b6 and give a fork to the queen and the rook. And if the queen takes the this bishop, then this knight will be lost. Then I'll be sacrificing my rook, and the bishop can take my rook, and the queen can come to g4. So white will have all the attack of the day, and very soon, black might get checkmated. So this is one of the Velimoric attacks. I hope you enjoyed the game. You learned a bit about this attack. I'll tell you, if you want to win against higher rated opponents, just try to play this Velimoric attack. I can assure you, many of the players will not be able to encounter this because they are not familiar with the opening principles of Velimoric. And I can assure you that surely you will be having a very winning game in the middle game itself. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.